such close proximity. And then one day our eyes did meet, and fate set into motion that telltale surge of dopamine and increased oxytocin, so adrift within a flood of hormone persuasion I shall share with you now. My heart's complex equation.
Someone crosses me, I cross them off. I am at full burn today.
The quantity of x squared plus y squared minus 1 to the power of 3, all to the power of 3 equals x squared times y cubed. That is the graph of my heart. That is the graph of my heart. That is the graph of my heart.
Broadcasting cognitive resonance across Arcadia, this is Grand Plan Wireless.
Greetings, pupils! Your always relatable Vicar Monk Sci-Fi is here to subvert expectations with an installment of Ask a Vicar that I'm calling Ask a Vicar to Ask a Presiding Bishop. That's right. Presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar is in the studio to answer a listener query, which I will now pose. Why are we here? Presiding Bishop, take it away.
Quite the broad question. Do we have sufficient time? It all began 13.7 billion years ago when...
Beg your pardon, Presiding Bishop, but I believe this question is a little more specific. Why are we here in Arcadia?
Ah, yes. Our presence in Arcadia is due to the friendship between the matriarch and our founding presiding bishop. Of course, he was not bishop at the time. This was more than a century ago. He had grown disillusioned with the order of scientific inquiry, which he felt had lost sight of the original vision, perfection through prediction. The matriarch appealed to his desire to return to that original vision, asking him to join her in her great enterprise. Together, they would establish a perfect society devoted to humanity's ascension. In exchange, she would finance a computronic machine that would account for every possibility, the archive. Such a device could never be built on Earth with its paltry resources. So began our sect, the Order of the Ascendant, steadfast in our crusade to solve the universal equation in Arcadia. And that, to answer your listener's query, is why we are here.
If you're feeling anxious about what's next, just wait. Things to come have a way of constantly happening. The future is colliding with the present every moment.
Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
Get to the point and do not vacillate. You check your word and verify your data. Send in your proof. Don't wait for later. You've crossed your T's. You've dotted your I's. The only thing that's left is public. And verify your data. Send in your proof. Don't wait for
Torpificator at ready status.
You've crossed your T's.
Energy capacity. Hey, I'm not sure. With
Not vacillate. Quickly elucidate and demonstrate. QED. Get to the point and do not vacillate.
Broadcasting cognitive resonance across Arcadia, this is Grand Plan Wireless. Stifled by unfulfilling work with no hope of advancement? Tired from fighting off your fellow workers to keep your employment? Data-driven insight on how to excel at your life? Visit our predictory and take our short questionnaire to determine exactly what career you are meant for. Act now and receive a 1-week prognostication from a seer. Absolutely free. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Keep put. Much is left to come. Avid followers of our predictive playlists are already aware of which song follows. Interested in receiving our weekly selection of mathematical clues? Visit your local predictory.
torpification. Energy capacitor out. Energy is up for grabs. I'll handle this. Capacitor deployed. Free energy if you can reach it.
You are listening to Grand Plan Wireless, Arcadia's voice of reason. Until we in the Order solve the universal equation, we won't have all the answers, but for now, Vicar Magsai has most of them. Go on, ask a vicar. A listener asks, how does prediction work? Well, the intricacies are much too complex for the layperson to grasp, but that's hardly a satisfying answer. Trust Vicar Magsai for a fathomable description that even the shallowest-minded among you might absorb.
Always happy to illuminate. We start with a person's life equation, as determined from the extensive questionnaire they filled out at the nearest predictory. Then, we perform a standard surface integration of the equation, leading, of course, to the production of an undetermined constant. But by using a single data point from the multi-event list, we can assign a value to that constant, leading to a simple-to-use, simple-to-understand life prediction equation. We can use additional points to not only validate our model, but also to improve its predictive accuracy. And we can use the resulting integration to predict future life events. And there you go. I knew you'd understand. In fact, I predicted it. Until next time, keep your queries coming.
Keep put, much is
We
left
need to get
come.
back to the N-ray range so I can use the communicator there. Ziegler is in dire need of an introduction to my disemboweling knife. Such as? Nothing of much worth to tell there. I'd rather hear your story. Just because I don't need a convenient excuse to kill anyone I want like you seem to? Cultural norms are for the repressed and unenlightened. Joining the Glorious Dawn freed me of such nonsense. They gave me a completely new life, wiped away all traces of fear and repression, and replaced them with unbridled freedom. My world used to be devoid of color. Everything was gray. Now everything is vibrant, like the arterial spray of a freshly opened vein. I wholeheartedly concur. Associating with one such as yourself proves it.
And deaths, until basic preventative measures were put in place after illness-related costs exceeded corporate profits. As is usual for Auntie's Choice. The purpleberry parasite infects nearly 100% of all purpleberry bushes, both in the wild, on corporate farms, and even in our hydroponic collectives. Originally discovered on a single colony world, the purpleberry plant was subsequently spread throughout the colonies due to Auntie's Choice's poorly regulated interstellar shipping. Well, actually, it was due to Spacer's Choice, which somehow merged with another company to become Auntie's Choice. Honestly, these corporate interactions make little sense to me, as they mostly amount to relabeling assets and changing letterhead and mascot cartoons. So I will just refer to them as Auntie's Choice going forward, even though that may offend some of my more literal-minded colleagues. But I digress. The purpleberry plant was at first thought to be poisonous, as the early colonists eating its berries died from the most potent of discharges this documentarian has ever witnessed, in a rare Auntie's Choice lab recording in our archive, which we acquired from a corporate defector to the Protectorate before our stellar system was sealed and the Order ceased daily interactions with our Protectorate allies. But it's ratchet. Belated testing by Auntie's Choice's unknown scientists showed that the berries were not poisonous at all.
Capacitor unit
Instead, they were infected with a microscopic parasite, the purple-berry parasite, or PBP, colloquially called in anti-choice dressing. More specifically, the PBP eggs are found in every berry of an infected plant, where these eggs have been successfully ingested by the second stage of the process. Let's examine the PBP life cycle in detail. After an infected berry is eaten by a host, the microscopic eggs inside the berries are exposed to the host's digestive enzymes, which trigger their hatching.
Capacitor out. Get it while it's energized.
Second stage, as spiky worm-like creatures with outsized pincer-like mandibles, which then proceed to feed on the host directly, ingesting tissue and blood along the entire intestinal tract. These worms are eventually expelled when they reach the size of approximately 2 centimeters in length, and they then sequence nearby purple-berry plants in a ripening purple-berries. And I should add that the plants are well fertilized in this entire...
Done weapon ready, Commander.
Also, when the plants contain undigested purple-berry seeds, the distribution of the plants is increased, helping infected purple-berry plants to spread farther and grow better than uninfected ones. Perhaps unsurprisingly, careless Auntie's Choice scientists mislabeled this case of obvious symbiosis, given how both the purple-berry plant and its parasite are benefited by the relationship, as a parasitical relationship. Given that initial classification error, it's a wonder the Auntie's Choice scientists managed to ascertain any subsequent safeguards at all. After some additional casualties, plodding Auntie's Choice field researchers discovered that co-native planetary fauna was well adapted to the parasite, affected by it to any large amount. But human colonists were not so fortunate. The PBP worms disrupted the human internal biome to such a degree that the eventual correspondingly large immune response leads to violently explosive diarrhea, resulting in the expelling of the worms, the berries, and most of the person's gastrointestinal tract. Human casualty rates were close to 100%, even when reluctantly given medical attention by Auntie's Choice doctors, who were more concerned with upselling unnecessary procedures or prescribing expensive ointments such as their antibiotics, a topical cream that offers no benefit to the dying patient except possibly smoothing away stubborn wrinkles, according to product literature. However, given the purple berry's non-zero nutritional value and low growing costs, impatient Auntie's Choice administration officials directed their labs to find ways to remove the parasite from the berry. A variety of methods were tested and found effective, but they were all time-consuming and wasteful of the edible portion of the purple berries, so these methods were deemed non-cost-effective and rejected altogether. Eventually, the answer was found not in a lab, but in a history book. Specifically, a history text on Saltuna, a crossbreed of 2 different earth fish species called salmon and tuna, was found that contained a reference to anisakid nematodes, or salmon worms, with an estimated 70 to 90% of all salmon being infected by these parasites. More importantly, the text contains a solution to eradicating these parasites: freezing. The simple and obvious, yet untried, act of freezing the salmon meat killed the embedded parasites. A quick test showed the same procedure worked on PBP eggs, although without quite 100% effectiveness. The remaining parasite eggs were not removed, a method that was judged too wasteful and expensive, since they increased the protein content of the berries without affecting their texture or flavor in any discernible way. The microscopic egg remains were simply too small to be seen or felt by the unaided eyes and tongues of their consumers, so Auntie's Choice administrators were satisfied with this inept solution. Purple berries are now a common nutritional and flavoring agent throughout the colony worlds. Mindless Auntie's Choice consumers especially purchase a large variety of purpleberry-themed foods and beverages, all of them mislabeled parasite-free. More accurately, the label should read live parasite-free. But in any case, Auntie's Choice once again demonstrated their contempt for their customers, for nature, and for any pretense of safety. Another reason this documentarian is grateful for our orders fabricated nutritional foodstuffs. OA archive transcript number 3918-4 ends here.
Broadcasting cognitive resonance across Arcadia, this is Grand Plan Wireless. You have questions, Vicar Mag Sci-Fi has informed answers, as evidenced by another installment of Ask a Vicar. A listener asks, why am I so bored? I am always bored. In fact, I'm bored now.
An honest question begging for an honest answer. Numerous studies have shown that boredom is inversely proportional to intelligence. Normally, a variety of mathematical puzzles and problems to increase your profundication, but I don't see that as the best solution in your case. Instead, purchase a small rubber ball and learn to bounce it. Best of luck to you. If you're feeling anxious about what's next, just... I don't see that as the best solution in your case. Instead, I recommend purchase a small rubber ball and learn to bounce it. Best of luck to you. If you're feeling anxious about what's next, just wait. I don't see that as the best solution in your case. Instead, I recommend the following. Purchase a small rubber ball and learn to bounce it. Best of luck to you.
What happens next may surprise you, but not us. The following song has been determined to facilitate abstract thinking and constructive...
I don't see that as the best solution in your case. Instead, I recommend the following. Purchase a small rubber ball and learn to bounce it. Best of luck to you.
What happens next may surprise you, but not us. Next up, well, the seers among you already know.
The color of space, a chromospectral analysis. When asked about the average color of space, the famous stellar cartographer Newton Otisgard replied, with no hesitation, beige. To experienced lunar astronomers, his answer was the expected one. But I can already hear the obtuse listener bleating with their faces contorted with specific.
Capacitor unit away. Recharge before it discharges.
Why? Or simply a shading? No. It was the answer to the science of how objects absorb and emit light. Which answers the auxiliary of why there are no green stars. You must understand the basics of thermal divarication emission theory. The typical piece of non-heated matter absorbs most electromagnetic radiation that falls upon it, including light, infrared, and radio emissions. And the matter reflects only a small portion of that radiation. The visible part of that reflection is its color. However, most stellar objects generate far more radiation than they absorb. So they can be as an idealized object, which is assumed to absorb 100% of all electromagnetic radiation and re-emit some based on its temperature and composition. Stellar composition determines what packets of light will be emitted, while stellar temperature determines the frequency of light and hence what portion of the spectrum that light is in. Low temperature emission is infrared and not visible to us without proper instrumentation, which I need not describe here. As the stellar body's temperature increases, its emitted light shifts up into visible light, through red, into orange, then yellow, then white. Even rare blue stars exist. These are the hottest stars, emitting mostly blue and invisible ultraviolet light. So why are there no green stars, you wonder? I would think the listeners could easily draw this trivial conclusion for themselves, but if I must. It's because any star emitting green light also emits bluish and/or reddish light too, resulting in a non-green star. There is no naturally occurring stellar composition that emits solely packets of green light. In fact, such a composition itself would constitute evidence for intelligent interference, and no such evidence of any kind has ever been detected. Let's get back to Otiscard, the famous stellar photographer. The methodology of the Otiscard's chromospectral survey was straightforward. He partitioned his astronomical field of view into grids, then tagged each object in his grid. He ignored empty regions, as black would only dim the color and not change its fundamental hue. The light from every galaxy, star, nebula, and quasar was gathered and fed into a central tabulator for computation. The subsequent spectral analysis produced a final answer to within 0.5% of the predicted value. And that result was beige. More specifically, in the cylindrical core...
Resorting to violence.
And the value is a full 100%. Terms, the color turns towards white. We'll go for it, Neo.
Recharge for mayhem.
Study your lesson. Stay.
Commander.
Next, the latest field data validating or repudiating our forecasts and relevant informational details for near-present and future calculations. An ongoing prolongation of existence advisory remains in effect for all presently transiting the Golden Ridge region.
Error. Greetings. This unit is unable to fulfill its programming. Are you able to assist this unit in its assigned duties?
Enhanced societal cast-offs.
This unit is unable to execute its programming due to tampering. Navigational and other systems have been compromised. This unit is now being used as a target, which is not among its designated functions. This unit must return to Matriarch's mercy to dispense medical care in order to fulfill its programming.
Territorial, toothsome, and...
Navigation systems re-initializing. Processing optimal path toward Matriarch's mercy. Return sequence will be initiated once path is determined.
Warnings are predicted to have a 14...
This unit assures you that a job well done is its own reward, and no payment is necessary. Thank you, qualified engineer.
Additional data and or music determined to facilitate cognition. And now, more music to perform advanced calculations by.
Investigating hostile intentions. Wasn't intentional. Well, that hill's not going to climb itself.
And now, constructually compelling yet categorically voracious statements regarding products researched and designed to increase energy, efficiency, creativity, and focus.
You may think you have tasted a great old-fashioned cocktail, but have you tasted the highest-rated old-fashioned ever created? Now you can, with Asymptote Bourbon, consistently rated the best from the Order of the Ascendant.
An ease-setting witticism to confer to colleagues at break time, the universal equation should maturate more rapidly.
Proceeding to attack. Capacitor deployed. Free energy within reach. Fortificator at ready status. Really? These dolts couldn't have come down the hill first to die?
Determined you're listening to Breaking Waters. Inspiring events, philosophical performances, informed insight into the future, also music. You cannot possibly do the right thing today without knowing what will happen tomorrow. And the Order of the Ascendant will predict tomorrow so you can have a better today. Stay tuned for what follows. And now, a song from a composer predicted to have 3 well-liked melodies and become allergic to water this year.
I'll handle this. Capacitor out. Get it while it's energized.
Give me the time!
This is Grand Plan Wireless.
Hostilities are afoot.
Unfriendly company.
Enriching content for your cerebral cortex around the chronometer until we achieve ascension. The Office of Hindrance Deterrence and Obviation has posted the following for venturesome pursuers of justice and
Ratcheting up my aggression.
bounty for the lives of Edward and Morton Dunsany, raiders out of the former protectorate compound, Guardian Estates. A bounty for the life of Jan Dunsany, notorious bushwhacker, dangerously addled, last said to be holed up at the Scrapper's Den. Ample rewards to be collected upon completion at the bounty posting site at Matriarch's Mercy.
Now do carry on. And as always, anticipate and calculate.
Continuing as predetermined. The following song has been determined to facilitate abstract thinking and constructive rumination.
In hard times when even the scavengers are starving.
Mobilizing.
Loading up!
Energy capacitor out.
Diagnostic mode disabled. Re-engaging security protocols. Complete. Beginning patrol for hostile elements.
Tramicular. Always fun to say, isn't it? Tramicular.
As was long since foreordained, that song was requested by the Department of Predictive Analysis and Auspication.
Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper. Something your fractions should never be.
You ever just think, what if I jumped?
If I measured every heartbeat and their electrical signal, would I find a value for love, or divide my heart by zero? If I input every measure of an intimate connection into a computronic system, would my punch card face rejection? Love does not compute. The variables seem infinite. Love does not compute. It's both clear and ambivalent. Love does not compute. If all matter has mass, and thus exerts attraction, could I bear love's weight and measure, or be crushed beneath abstraction? Can I calculate truth or assumption? Where does love fit in a constant function? Love does not compute. The variables seem infinite. Love does not compute. It's both clear and ambivalent. Love does not compute. Love does not compute. Love
Traveling at the velocity of light through the vacuum of space on our primary band, this is Grand Plan Wireless, the informed, sourced, peer-reviewed sound of scientism. Fellow esteemed members of the Order of the Ascendant allocated to Golden Ridge. As foreseen, recent conflicts between the Protectorate, Auntie's Choice, and ourselves have resulted in notable detrimental effects throughout this region, including but not limited to the loss of Fort Endurance, disabling of the tramicular, and a 17.9% reduction in effective sleep cycles per evening. But before you succumb to a sense of malaise that undermines cognitive function, take heart from these additional, sharply contrasting data points. Our efforts deciphering the universal equation remain unabated. Extraction continues at Zeranium Manufactory 7, as does research at the N-Ray range. Remember, just as our calculations allow for a predictable range of error, so do we. Our work continues.
End message with an emphatic sign-off such as, "You'll never be sad when you have solutions." Oh, that apparently was a note to self, not to be read aloud.
Further beneficial content soon follows. Avid followers of our predictive playlists are already aware of which song follows. Interested in receiving our weekly selection of mathematical clues? Visit your local predictory.
Nice what they've done with the place.
9962383432532. How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I?
salted lettuce, spoiled mayonnaise? Don't eat yesterday's sandwich. Instead, enjoy Cultured Banquet, a 100% fabricated meal, the consummation of consumption.
From the Order of the Ascendant. Never forget, we will unlock humanity's true potential. In due course, in due time, each fulfilling our prescribed role within the grand plan. Consistency in your work is wonderful. Consistency in playlists is not. Now for a new song.
Something crosses me. I cross them off. I am at full burn today. This window.
Don't try my next big hide Abby the hostiles about me.
Moving on.
Passenger deployed. Free energy.
Crushing a bothersome worm under my boot.
There is a strange sort of humor in the onset of the first war in Arcadia's history, within a few days of my being assigned here. As far from protectorate society as possible, Golden Ridge suffers under an invading force, and moreover, it appears that our Order colleagues have betrayed us. At first, I lamented my isolation, but I've realized I was where I needed to be of service. The scores of abandoned subjects need a leader. I have enlisted the staff at these estates to help accept the first influx of still loyal Protectorate refugees. More shall come. I shall lead them out of the shadows and into the light. For the good of the Protectorate. This is my calling.
You are listening to Grand Plan Wireless, Arcadia's voice of reason. Tired of vacuously untrue statements with their unsatisfying antecedents? At the Order of the Ascendant, our predictions are both sufficient and necessary for your positive outcomes. Come by our predictory today, where we will share with you our deductions and their contrapositive implications. Keep put, much is left to come. Next up, well, the seers among you already know.
without defending your position. We won't accept a hunch or feeling, an idea based on intuition. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. A proof is a deducible argument that removes any confusion or a mathematical equation, logically guaranteeing the conclusion, using inference and logic to cover all the bases, and with reason and deduction, so it's always true in all possible cases. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. Show us how it works. What's the basic rule? Let's show how it works. Here's a basic rule. The sum of two you can believe it. The sum of two even numbers always comes out even. A very proven proof. That is how it works. That's a basic proof. Can you give another, one more basic proof?
I know observational data is important, but I hate seeing these rifts so close.
Good evening. On behalf of everyone in Auntie's family. I want to thank our hosts for securing this wonderfully austere venue to begin our negotiations for peace. Though I wonder if it is even possible. Considering the Order's brazen attack on one of our bases, an explanation from the Vicar Laureate and his fellow shareholders is overdue.
I share your frustration, Madame Vice President, but my...
When a triangle exists with an angle that is right, square the shorter side, shorter base of height. The sum of those squares will always be of use.
The latest field data validating or repudiating our forecasts and relevant informational details for near-present and future calculations. An unfortunate event has transpired. A massive explosion at Alexandra Monastery in Matriarch's Mercy has sent rocky debris raining down upon inhabited areas below. Yet, on a favorable note, this event has positively validated Seer Wiley's exclusion zone predictions. The aforesaid debris landed in the forewarned areas with an 89.3% accuracy. Regrettably, due to lackadaisical inaction on the part of the assigned administrant, some members of the displaced were housed there at the time.
In closing, a potentially incongruent word of advice. Invariably find a way to turn your negatives into positives.
Continuing as predetermined. The following song has been determined to facilitate abstract thinking and constructive rumination.
When a triangle exists with an angle that is right, square their shorter sides. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. Prove it, yes you must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. Show us how it works. What's a basic groove? Let's show how it works. Here's a basic groove. The sum of two even numbers, this you can believe in. The sum of two even numbers always comes out even. A proof. A proof, a very proven proof. That is how it works. That's a basic.
I'm going to lend a hand at the exclusion zone.
Ruth Basson is the first among equals of the Lorians.
Square their shorter sides, shorter based on height. The sum of those squares will always be of use as the square of the longest side.
Shame what happened.
A proof, a very proven proof. You think you know it all. The answer's in
It's humanity to perfection.
show the proof. Your theory will be picked apart. Your theory will be picked apart. Prove it, prove it. You must prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. Prove it, prove it. You must prove it. Prove it, prove it, prove it, just deduce it. If you cannot prove it, take your theory and remove it. You must prove it.
The meaning of life is in there. And we are the keepers of the equation.
Field data validating or repudiating our forecasts and relevant informational details for near-present and future calculations.